loves, welcome back to my channel. My name is Addie and I have a little bit new of a setup now. I got a chair. I got tired of sitting on the floor. And it's so super comfy for just reading, because you don't always want to read in your bed. So, I'm really excited about it. The lighting's different because now I'm right here, so it might be a little funky. So I'm trying to play with it. Anyway, today's video is my January wrap-up. So basically just all the books I read in January. This month I read a lot of books. This was an unusually good reading month for me. I think it was because I didn't start classes until January 23rd, so I literally had 23 days of straight doing nothing except having time to read. So that obviously reflected. I don't think it's gonna be like this every month, but one can hope. So yeah, I guess let's get right into it. The first book I read this month was Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. This started out my year with a bang. I cried so hard in this book. It was a journey, alright? I'm not going to go into depth with this one because I read it for my Goodreads highest and lowest video, so if you want to hear my in-depth opinion on this book, so you can go watch that video. So yeah, this book follows Yasmin and Josiah, and they are separated. They have children together, but because they hit a really rough patch in their marriage, and please check trigger warnings before reading this book. It kind of just shows their journey of falling back into love with each other, but it's just so real, but it's in the saddest way. It is a new favorite of mine, but I will never reread it because I never want to feel that pain again. I just know how I felt when I read it. It was so frustrating, but in the most perfect way. So that was the first book I read. And then after that, I'm you know what, I need a thriller. I need to cleanse my palate. So I read Five Survive by Holly Jackson. This is Holly Jackson's new book. It's her first book after A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, which I was obsessed with. I read that series of January of last year, and it was so good, and I was so excited for this one because I love her writing. And she's kind of blowing up on TikTok right now. That might just be me, but that series it's all over my feed page. But Five Survive was so good. It follows Red and her friends. They're just trying to go on a spring break vacation, and they're taking an RV down, and it's all in the span of one night, but it kind of goes by the hour. But as they're driving down for their spring break, there's this sniper that stops them. He wants a secret out of them, but they don't know what secret it is. Yeah, so it shows them trying to survive that night. I was surprised. I was actually very surprised by the ending, which I love when that happens with thrillers. I'm not good at predicting endings, but so when I do predict it, I'm oh, it must have been obvious because even I figured this one out. But Five Survive, I did not predict it. It was super fast paced because it took place in one night, so I read it in literally a day. There's one character in it that was such a big bitch. I couldn't handle it. He was so annoying, but I loved the main character. Red was amazing, so highly recommend. I loved this book. And then another banger of the year, I read Flawless by Elsie Silver. Alright, I did not catch the memo when I bought this that there were special edition covers that didn't look like this. So I did not buy that. I learned from my mistake. It's a bad cover. Anyway, this one is one of my new favorite romances. I was obsessed with it. I didn't know I would have a thing for cowboy romances, but this really proved me wrong. It was so good. It followed Summer and Rhett, and Rhett is a bull rider, but he gets in a scandal. So Summer is hired to basically babysit him and keep him in line. It was such a cute romance. The pacing was great. In romances when they either take way too long to get to the couple, or or it's like insta lovey and it starts way too soon. This was the perfect pace for my taste. And I love the jealousy trope. Like I don't know why, it's like one of my favorites, and Elsie Silver did it so well. So I love this. I gave it 5 stars. It was amazing. And then I did a 180 while I was waiting for Heartless to come in the mail. I read All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. I think that's how you say it. And this book is YA, and I don't normally read a lot of YA, but I read a lot of YA this month for someone who doesn't read a lot of it. But it was really good. It was incredibly heartbreaking. Please read the trigger warning before reading this book as well. It follows Violet and Finch, and Violet's sister just died, so she's kind of going through it. Finch, he's dealing with a lot of mental health issues, and they're assigned to each other for like a group project, for a project of like seeing the wonders of Indiana, and they basically help each other navigate themselves through that. And it was a really beautiful story, but it was so incredibly sad and made me cry. I rated this book 4 stars. And then Heartless came in the mail. I realized I got the memo with the pretty covers for this one, so I was much happier. This one, a lot of people like it more than Flawless. I kind of was the opposite. I loved this book as well, like it was amazing, but I liked Flawless just a little bit more. I rated this one 4.5 stars. It follows Willa and Cade, and Cade is a single dad, and Willa is the nanny hired to work with them over the summer. It was really amazing. Same thing with the pacing. Like I loved the pacing in this one. It was nice that the kid wasn't really annoying. Like kids in books usually, they piss me off. I don't know, like authors don't write them like right, like no one talks, like no child is talking like that. Like so this one I was really pleasantly surprised that the kid didn't really bug me. The romance between them the chemistry was great. Yeah, this one was amazing. I definitely recommend reading this this series. I'm so excited for Powerless to come out in like February. That's like one of my big anticipated releases. And then I read My Body by Emily Ratajkowski. I don't know if that's right. I never learned how to say her name, and I know that's bad because I've mentioned this book now twice in 2 videos, and I probably butchered it twice. This is a memoir of Emily, and I was so surprised by this book because I don't think it's fair that someone can be this beautiful and speak so eloquently and like have so many and just be so smart at the same time. Like it's just not fair. Totally changed my opinion on her. It made me look at my own internalized misogyny, especially even going into this book, because I referred to her as just like the girl who was dating Pete Davidson, which she's so much more than that. She has done a lot of amazing work, and she's a fabulous writer. So, and like I loved watching her battle her internalized misogyny in the modeling industry. So I loved that. I learned a lot about women in the industry. It showed like how women are sexualized, it was a really interesting exploration of what it means to be a woman and a commodity, and what it means to be multifaceted as a woman. And it was amazing. It was like, it's kind of a collection of short stories, and I really enjoyed all of them. It was super interesting, and it was a really amazing read. I gave this book, I don't really like to rate someone's life story, so I rated it 5 stars on Goodreads just to like have a rating on it and counted that I read it. But yeah, I don't really rate memoirs. And then the next book I read was What Lies in the Woods. My mom borrowed it, so I only have the sheet right now. This is another thriller. It was my book of the month pick. It was really good. I rated it 4 stars. It followed three girls. The main girl was Naomi, and then her two best friends, Liv and Cass, and basically almost died in the woods, or Naomi almost died in the woods from a killer when they were like 11 or 12 years old. And okay, I'm sorry, my battery fully died. But now Naomi got a call that the guy who killed her, or tried to kill her, is dead. He died in prison. And so she goes back to where it happened and to like see if her and her friends are okay, and then what actually happened in the woods starts to unravel. I thought it was a very solid thriller. I predicted one of the big surprises, but it wasn't. It was like the first one of like that made the. It was just a very small part of it that kind of got revealed. So I predicted that, but I didn't predict the ending, like big plot twist. So I rated this book 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. If you want a thriller, a pretty fast-paced thriller, I definitely recommend this book. And then I read the Caraval trilogy, which is another YA fantasy. I read this because I want to read Once Upon a Broken Heart, and I was told that I should read this first, which I totally agree now with looking at the description for Once Upon a Broken Heart. Like, you don't have to read the Caraval trilogy, but I think it would definitely add to the story, but I'll confirm that once I actually read that one. No, I rated Caraval 3 stars or 3.5. Legend over 3.5 stars. I rated Legendary 4 stars, and Finale 4.5. I thought that each book got progressively better, which I really liked. It's better than it getting progressively worse. And Caraval was kind of more of like a world building type thing. This book kind of follows two sisters, Scarlet and Tella. Caraval is more Scarlet, it's all of Scarlet's point of view. Legendary is then Tella's, and then Finale is a mix of both, which I really enjoyed. I liked having like the back and forth. And I loved both the sisters. They were both so amazing. It was a super interesting read. Like, it's basically like this legendary carnival that Scarlet has been writing to. Like, it's run by this kind of mythic man legend who runs everything. He's like magical, but like no one really knows who he is or like what he is, or no one's ever really met him. But Scarlet's been writing him for years, being like, our dad's kind of an asshole. Would you mind letting us come to your carnival, you know, to like escape and stuff, I don't know, and play the game. And finally, right before Scarlet's about to have like an arranged marriage, he's like, yeah. So, and Tella is definitely the more the adventurous of the two. Scarlet's like, no, this is like bad timing, I'm supposed to get married, and Tella's like, no, you don't really want to marry this man, let's go. So she goes, and it turns out to be not what she thought it was gonna be. She's having trouble seeing, like, blurring the lines between real and reality, and even I was like, I didn't know what was real, and it was so good. I loved these books. And even if like you don't want to read Once Upon a Broken Heart, I definitely think these are like, you don't want to, like, if you're on the fence about reading these before Once Upon a Broken Heart, I think they're definitely worth the read. I really enjoyed them. And then I read The Charm Offense. I just wanted a cute rom-com, and this definitely delivered. I rated this book 4 stars. It followed Charlie and Dev. Charlie is on a kind of bachelor kind of show. He's like the main guy in The Bachelor. And Dev is he's the producer on the show. It was very cute. It was really a palate cleanser. Charlie was so precious. I love Charlie, and I love the band. I'm a huge fan of The Bachelor. I'm a big reality TV girl, so I loved the dating show aspect of this book. Yeah, so I don't have much to say about this, but I really liked it. It was very cute. And then I read A House of Sky and Breath. It was time. It was time to do it. I've been scared of it for like a year now. I'm not really gonna say anything about it because I have a reading vlog going up of it next week, so I don't really want to disclose too much of my thoughts of this book, but I did read it, and it was a journey. That's all I'm gonna say. And then I read Two Wrongs Make a Right by Chloe Liese. It was cute. I gave it 3 stars. I didn't absolutely love it though. Chloe Liese is such a hit or miss author for me. Like, I either love her books or they kind of fall flat. Like, I loved Always Only You, and I loved her novella that she did for Christmas this year, but this book, it was just like, okay. Like, I didn't love the insta-lovey kind of stuff. I just thought it was kind of forgettable. Like, I already kind of forgot. It follows Bea and Jamie, and Bea has been hurt in the past, and she's really not interested in having a relationship, and Jamie just has a lot of anxiety, and he's not good at relationships, and their friends think that they'd be so cute together, so they keep pushing it, and Bea's like, no, I don't want a relationship. And so basically she gets so fed up, and he gets fed up, that they set them up on a date that they pretend to date, and they like plan to have this like extravagant breakup to like get back at them. So the premise was good. I loved the fake dating part of it. The ending, also my problem was the conflict at the end felt so rushed and so unnecessary. Like, it was, I hate when like they fight about something. Like, when you have like the 75% mark breakup in romance books that you always get, I want it to be something where I'm like, okay, yeah, I understand why they're fighting about this. I understand why they're breaking up. Like I want them to have to like work a little bit to get back together. But with this one, I was like, I don't really get it. Like, I don't understand why they're breaking up right now, and we're like, what this conflict is about. And I just thought it was kind of stupid. I'm not gonna lie. And yeah, it didn't need to happen. And I also like just didn't really care if they got back together, which is probably a problem. But I gave it extra points because the chemistry was immaculate in it. They had like, it was very good chemistry. So that's why that's what bumped it from a 2-star to a 3-star for me. And then I read The Hawthorne Legacy and The Final Gambit by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I read The Inheritance Games so long ago, like a year or 2 ago, like when it first came out. And then I picked up The Hawthorne Legacy when it came out but it was on my Kindle. And I honestly I never, like, I wasn't like the book's problem. I think I'm just not a person that likes reading on the Kindle. Like, I bring it on vacations and stuff, but like, I've like tried to become a Kindle girly. Like, it saves money, it's better for the environment. But I can't focus, and I always end up DNFing books on my Kindle. I just totally forget about them. So I kind of associated The Hawthorne Legacy with like DNFing it, but it wasn't the book's fault. It was my fault for thinking I could read it on the Kindle. So I picked up these 2 books, and I'd probably try them again. And I'm so glad I did, because The Hawthorne Legacy was so good. They're the second and third book, so I don't really want to say too much because I don't want to spoil anything. But this book I gave 5 stars, and this book I gave 3.5 because I did not love one of the characters in it. I didn't love how some of the characters were acting in it. Like, I felt like some of it was very off-brand for some of them. The main girl is always amazing. I love the main girl in these books. But like, some of the side characters were really bugging me, and I don't know. It didn't like have the same vibes as the other books, but it was definitely I definitely enjoyed it. Like, it was a quick read. It was a fun read either way. So I'm really glad I finished the series. And then I was on an Elsie Silver kick from Flawless and Heartless, and I decided to pick up her other series, the Ruby Creek series. I don't think that's what it's called, but it's a different town. But it's Off to the Races. This book, it's her first series, so I knew I wasn't gonna like it as much as Flawless and Heartless. But it was really good. I rated it 3 stars just because it wasn't giving me the same vibes. Like, it gave me the exact same vibes, but it didn't make me feel as happy as the other ones. Like, just something was missing, and I don't know how to explain it. But this book follows Billy and Vaughn, and Billy is working at Vaughn's like ranch, and she's a new ranch hand. I think Vaughn pissed me off. Like, I think the characters both kind of pissed me off. Vaughn pissed me off because he was kind of too much of an asshole in the beginning, and Billy she was so. Sometimes I felt like she was a little over dramatic about a lot of things. Like, her reactions were always way too big for what the situation needed, and that kind of bothered me. So I don't know. I'm still reading the rest of the series because Elsie Silver it's addictive though. Like, her writing is addictive. So I'm still reading this, and I'm in the middle of a photo finish right now. It's like almost the end of January right now, so this will definitely be finished by January, but I'll include it in my February wrap up because I'm not done with it yet. But this one's already so much better. Like, this is giving me the same vibes and same feelings as Flawless and Heartless. So I'm thinking the series just is getting better. Like, it was her first book, so I feel like I can't like judge too harshly. Like, I can see like her writing getting better each time. But I'm loving this so far. So hopefully that'll stay, but I'll give you that update in a month. These are all the books that I read in January. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys got some book recs out of this. Yeah, it's probably never gonna be this big again, but you know, that's okay. I was really proud of myself this month because I never read, like, I read a lot, but I don't read this much. Let me know what your favorite book you read in January was, and what's on your February TBR. I hope you guys have a great week, and I hope you guys had a great month, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!